Press conference, we have head coach Pascal Jansen. Coach, can you please open up with an opening statement following our
Recording
encounter
in
against
progress.
Santos? Can you speak how the team's preparing ahead of our League Cup match against Cruz Azul?
It's a short turnaround. Not so much time in order to prepare ourselves for the second game in this competition. Obviously, we started with a good win. I think a decent match overall. But we're looking forward to competing with the Mexican champions, Cruz Azul. So that's where we are now.
Thank you, Coach. We're now going to open up the floor to questions. Again, please state your name and media outlet before your question. We'll get started in the room with Roberto.
Roberto Abramowitz, New York City FC Radio in Spanish. So Pascal, now that you got a chance to look at the game, how did you see your team? Any differences of what you saw on the sideline versus what you saw on tape?
No. Looking back at the game afterwards, it went pretty much as I experienced it on the side, as expected also. I'm happy to see that Matt was there for us in crucial moments, especially his saves on the free kick and the follow-up with the header was very important to stay in the game because, as you could have seen, I think we controlled the majority of the game, especially in the first half. But those type of moments can turn games around. So it's very important that you see that Matt had his influence on these moments. Second half, with the changes that we made, I think it went even more into the direction that we were trying to get into that game, with some good goals, some good play also, and kept a clean sheet. So overall, I was pleased.
What made the change in the second half make the team much more effective?
I would say, especially looking at the attacking side of it, with Luigi giving us some more body up front to have the ball protected in the front line as well, and try to combine from there a little more, plus attacking the space as what he did quite a few times as well, and help the team in that way, either to stretch the defense or hold the ball and allow us to move forward. Kevin O'Toole obviously was capped for 45 minutes, and when you bring Nico Macau back on the pitch, you get the quality impulse that everybody anticipates.
So Nico played 6, or at least from my perspective. If that's the case, why there, and what did you think of his performance there? And why only 45 minutes?
Nico went into this game coming back from a cold, so he wasn't 100% fit. He only had his recovery training session after the Toronto game, and from then on he was dealing with a cold, so we had to take care of him and protect him also. Cleared for 45. He played centre mid next to Johnny, especially out of possession, where we have a structure where we look to have two centre mids play next to each other. But as always, Nico has his freedom in movement when we're in possession, and especially the movement in and around the number 6 from the Mexican team was important to have Pepe in and around that space, which allowed Nico to involve himself way more in possession than we anticipated with Kevin.
Cruz Azul is the Mexican champions. What was your thoughts on them, and if you saw the Philadelphia game, which I'm sure you did, how do you see them playing, and what do you have to do differently to play against them?
Compared to Philly, you mean?
Well, compared to Santos, actually.
Right. Okay, just from our perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's quite obvious that Cruz Azul is one of the best teams in Mexico. They're the reigning champions of the Mexican League. New coach came in close to the end of the season, had a few games, and then the championship that they won. But they're very, very aggressive from what I've seen in every phase of play, even in the set pieces, very intense. But also some good players. You see their midfield is filled with quality players, Mexican internationals also playing there. So it's going to be a very intense game also. For us, the opportunities will be there because, as you know, Roberto, we always analyze our opponents, so we always find weak spots and strong aspects that we need to be aware of. And hopefully we can expose those weak spots tomorrow in order to make it come our way again.
Paul, last one. Health-wise, how's the team? If you can give us a rundown of who's available and who's not.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier on, Kevin O'Toole was already back into the team in game one. Now Keaton Parks is back into the squad again, which is very positive. Thiago and Raul are going very well also. Today, Aidan O'Neill was running outside again, so they're all making progress. But we do have to be mindful of the fact that there's a few guys that have long-term injuries, like Arnau, like Maxi, like Drew. And the other one that's very positive is Alonso Martinez. He did his physical test today outside, which looked also very positive. So he's getting closer and closer, which obviously is very good for the team because they're all quality players.
Thank you.
We'll go to the Zoom. Michael, Ender.
Hey, Pascal, it's Mike Ander from Blue City Radio. Thanks as always for the time.
Hi, Michael.
You said in one of your earlier press conferences when Benny joined the squad that he and Nico were forming a really good relationship. Knowing that Nico's minutes were capped, or at least you were going to give Kevin the run out. Can you talk me through the decision to have Nico play with Luigi as opposed to with Benny?
That's because we have a few other very talented attackers, and Nico is clear what he can add to the team. And we found it very important that Luigi is progressing from the physical perspective where he is now, and give him these 45 minutes. Also looking at the game, what the game needed, and that goes for Benny as well. So Benny is not fully fit just yet. He's working on this aspect as hard as he can, but we have to respect the time involved. And Nico has to be ready to play with either of them. So it doesn't change the idea of connecting the attacker, Benny, with Nico. Nico has to have a good relationship and good chemistry with every attacker that he plays with.
We're going to go with Christian next. Christian, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Kristen Hennig with NYCFC.com.
Hi, Kristen.
Cooper Flax made his debut the other day, so did Zhao. What can this competition do in terms of giving you an idea of where players like that are currently at in their development?
It helps, but there's no difference in an MLS game or a Leagues Cup game. Obviously, we have a different setup. We are allowed to have 20 outfield players on the roster going into the Leagues Cup. That is different from the MLS. So you can add 2 more players to the roster. And sometimes a game gives an opportunity for a guy like Cooper Flax to make his debut. And this was that moment. He was able to get himself on the roster by playing well and training well in the second team. And we saw that moment as an opportunity for him to come on field and give him the confidence that he's heading in the right direction from a development perspective.
Michael, you have another one?
Yeah, please. Pascal, you mentioned Raul and Thiago still recovering. So
Yeah.
Talk to us about Max Murray's health and fitness. Was it just a cramp? And then you also talked about Joao, how he did in trying to compete for that starting spot.
Yeah. Well, when Thiago's not available, other guys have to step up. And obviously, like we mentioned, Raul is not fully fit just yet. So this was the moment for Max Murray to show what he's capable of, and he's been working 18 months very hard in order to get this moment, and he did a very good job. But like you mentioned, he cramped, and that is something that we anticipated as well. But because we have a few options less to pick in the middle, in the centre back position, we also added Joao to the roster. And as I mentioned to your colleague just now, that opportunity is there because we can add 2 more players to the roster compared to the MLS. And once Max Murray had to leave the pitch, it was a perfect moment for Joao to make his debut and play next to Jimmy.
Great. Thank you, everybody. This concludes today's pre-match press conference ahead of our game against Cruz Azul. Cruz Azul will take on New York City FC tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. at Sports Illustrated Stadium. For all media assets, please visit the Leagues Cup media portal. Thank you, everybody. All right, we're ready to go, guys. Welcome to today's Leagues Cup.
Recording in progress.
Welcome to today's Leagues Cup 2026 Matchday -1 press conference. Joining us on behalf of New York City FC will be head coach Pascal Jansen and defender Tayvon Gray. We remind everybody that this will be a hybrid press conference with media on site and via Zoom. We will go with questions on site first, followed by Zoom. And for those media members that need interpretation from Spanish to English and English to Spanish, we're offering live simultaneous translation via the Zoom link. Bienvenidos a esta conferencia de prensa el día previo del partido de Leagues Cup para New York City FC. Para los medios que deseen escuchar la interpretación en vivo en inglés y en español o viceversa, ofrecemos esta opción mediante el enlace de Zoom. We will begin with an opening statement from defender Tayvon Gray, following our match against Santos Laguna. Tayvon, could you please speak about how the team is preparing for a second Leagues Cup match against Cruz Azul?
Preparation as usual, normal training day, getting the little bits right, set pieces on those things, watching a bit of film, obviously, and yeah, just preparing as a group for Cruz Azul. We know they're a tough team, so we're ready for it.
Thank you, Tayvon. We will now open the floor to questions. Please state your name and your media outlet before your question. We'll start in the room with Roberto.
Roberto Abramovich, Spanish play-by-play, New York City FC Radio. Tayvon, how big did your eyes light up when you saw that ball bouncing through?
Definitely big. I was gonna say not too big, but big for sure. I had like a little feeling that it was gonna come to me or that Azul was gonna be able to pass it to me, but he took a shot instead, and then it just deflected, and I was already like kind of moving up for it, and it just kind of came to me on a platter, So definitely really big.
It turns out interesting the fact that both goals for New York City turned out to be from right back and left back. So it's a whole team effort, right, for as far as goal contributions are concerned.
For sure. I thought both of them pretty great build-up plays. Both of them, even mine. Pepe had a ball across. Luigi couldn't touch it. Agul got a shot off, blocked, and then I came, with the rebound. And I thought the other play was pretty similar, a little bit of tiki-taka, found Pepe, he played through, and Nico's finish. It was definitely a team effort for sure.
What differences do you find playing against Mexican teams versus MLS teams?
Good question. To be fair, not that much, but I feel like depending on the team, obviously, it's just some have more fight than others, and I think the Mexican team definitely have more fight sometimes, especially in a tournament format, Everyone wants to advance. It's not like, you can drop out at this point, So I feel like ultimately that would make it them play a little bit harder,
So final one for me. Cruz Azul, Mexican champions. They also won Campeón de Campeones, which against Toluca. They've been playing very well. They did beat Philadelphia 1-0. What do you know about them, and what differences do you see between them and Santos?
Obviously, like I said, we obviously prepare, watch a bit of film and stuff like that. The difference, I feel like they're just more cutthroat. I feel like they're more clinical and more in tune to details, just as a group. So we're definitely aware of that. So I feel like that's just it. Like you said, they were champions for a reason, So, yeah.
Thank you.
On to the Zoom, we'll go with Carlos.
You might have to activate their microphone.
Carlos, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. Now you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you, boss.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, Coach. This is Carlos Archundia for Mr. Football. My question is that your team has won 3 and drawn 1 of your last 4 games. Do you think that playing Cruz Azul, the current Liga MX champions, in front of your home fans could be an extra motivation for the team to keep this good momentum going for you?
Say the question again, please.
Yeah, I was saying that in the last 4 games you have won 3 and drawn only 1. So if maybe this match versus Cruz Azul, the current champions of Liga MX, could be an extra motivation for you, taking in consideration that you will be with your home fans in New Jersey.
I think it don't got to be Cruz Azul to motivate us. I think we're just as motivated as any any other team we were playing. You know, the motivation comes from within the group, so it doesn't really matter who we're playing. We're definitely motivated.
Thank you, Coach.
We'll go with Michael Anger. Michael, go ahead.
Hey, Tayvon, it's Mike Tanner from Blue City Radio. Thanks as always for the time. And
Thank you,
like
Dave.
Roberto said, great goal the other night.
Thank you.
You mentioned, that some teams have more fight, and sometimes the Liga MX teams, that's the characteristic they carry, is that they're
Yeah.
a lot more intense. Intensity sometimes has been an issue for NYCFC. Do you think that this is a really good opportunity for you guys to step up your game as you look past Leagues Cup and go into regular season?
Step up our game. I mean, I think we're always looking to polish our game. I don't know about step up, but I think we're on a good form right now. We're just trying to keep that going. So, yeah.
Anyone else with a question? Great. Thank you very much. Today we conclude today's press conference.